Okay, so what we're going to learn today is how you create an ionic compound. And an ionic compound is bound by being able to have the total positive charges equal the total negative charges. And our charges, we learned in our last unit about atoms. Atoms are particles that have positive protons and negative electrons that cancel out. In an ion, there's unequal protons and unequal electrons, resulting in a positive or negatively charged particle. And if you take a look at your periodic table, you should be able to identify your metals and your nonmetals. The blue line divides down for the metals. Metals are one type of ion, and your nonmetals are another type of ion. The metals in an ionic compound are written first. They are called cations, and they are positively charged ions. In order to name the ion, the name of the ion is the element's name. So the sodium atom becomes the sodium ion, and the ion is designated by this positive charge. Okay, so the sodium atom is called the sodium ion. The calcium atom becomes the calcium ion. On the other side of the periodic table, you have your nonmetals. Your nonmetals are written at the end of the compound. When you write the formula or you say the name, they are called anions, and they are negatively charged ions. To name the nonmetal ions, the name is the element name with the ending IDE. For example, chlorine, as designated here, with the negative charge, becomes the chloride ion. Oxygen atom becomes the oxide ion. And it's often helpful to go to your periodic table and see if you can practice changing some of those nonmetal names into ion names. Going now to your periodic table, there are certain elements that have singular charges. And these atoms are found in groups. This group, all the way to the left, group 1, with the hydrogen, are given a +1 ion. So all the elements in that group have a +1 charge as an ion. Group 2, the next one over, all have a +2 ion. Any element in that column has a +2 charge. We're going to skip over the middle group of metals, which are called your transition metals, until our next topic. Crossing over to group 3, excluding boron, because boron is a nonmetal. You know from our last slide that nonmetals have a negatively charged ion. We have aluminum, and aluminum has a +3 charge. Skipping over group 4 with carbon, because that has some variants that we're going to come back to, we move over to group 5, which is the nitrogen group. This group is given a -3 charge. So the nonmetals here, right, because the blue line tells you that you're into metals again, those all have a -3 charge. The next group over are all -2 charged until you get to your line here. Group 7, these are called your halogens. They have a -1 charge. And if you continue on in that pattern, this group here, the last group, have 0 charge, which means they do not make ionic compounds.